Good morning to you, my people. How are we doing this morning? It's Good Morning Grenada, the link up for today, Tuesday. It's the 17th day of January. And if you're just joining us, well, welcome, thanks for being on board with us this morning. We always appreciate that. And it's a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Yeah, and it's, just a privilege to be here with you this morning. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the programming. And of course, at this time every morning we give you the word of the day. And this morning it's no exception. The word of the day this morning is the word paladin. All right, paladin, and it is spelled Paladin. It is a noun, and it means a leading champion of a cause. A paladin is a leading champion of a cause or a trusted military leader, as for a medieval prince. Now, we can use it this way. The keynote speaker is regarded as a paladin of environmental justice. All right, he's a champion of, environmental justice. And we can also say the prince summoned the paladin and commended him for his actions in battle. The champion of the war. All right, so let's look at the thought of the day. And today we say pay attention to what your mind is dwelling on. Don't just think any thought that comes to mind. If it's a negative, discouraging, fearful thought, don't give it the time of day. Blank it out, because people are, tend to dwell on what comes to mind. And if you're going to dwell on it, make sure that it puts you in a good place, let it have you in a happy place, all right? Or else you would find that your day is miserable. And who wants that? Nobody wants that, okay? So, pay attention to what your mind is dwelling on. Don't just think any thought that comes to mind. If it's a negative, discouraging, fearful thought, don't give it the time of day. Yeah, don't dwell there. Don't go there. So let's look at some of the stories that are buzzing that, made the rounds. Of course, Independence is in the air. The semi-finalist for the Independence Calypso competition was released yesterday. I hopefully would have that for you a little later in the morning. All right. With the marketing board saga is still on. People are still talking about it and what will eventually happen with the MNIB. It's a lot of fat, man. So many things are coming forward now, and we'll see how it plays out. All right, we also see that with urgent work that needs to be done on the Mount Moritz Road, Infrastructure Minister Dennis Cornwall says the road will be closed for 2 weeks. I doubt it. I see more than that. Maybe 2 weeks in the first instance, you know how these work go about. Okay, also buzzing, Father Clyde Harvey, he made some comments yesterday, and he said education cannot take place in the context of violence or warfare. All right, that's one of the stories that we would look at this morning. All right, he made some suggestions. Well, he said what will happen in the Catholic schools, and he hopes that it is extended to all schools. So the question we will ask this morning is it fair that a child be punished by suspension or expulsion due to the behavior of a parent? Okay. Also buzzing, executive members of the Public Workers Union, they acknowledge some of the positive moves made by government in 2023 so far. The other story that I want us to pay attention to this morning is that workers at the Mount Gay Hospital and the union representatives are now relieved as the government resolved a pressing issue that led to protest action last December. Now, the question that is being asked is, why does this have to reach to the point of protest action for something to be done? A very, very disturbing story also making the buzz this morning is we hear that 3 men, they have been apprehended by police and taken into custody following the frightening daylight incident that occurred in St. David on Saturday involving firearms on a youngster. Now, this is sickening, and you would hear it in the news. Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, he made his position very clear as it relates to that. So that's what's happening this morning. We come back with the conversation after 7 o'clock. So we'll see you at that time. But remember, the word of the day, the word is paladin. And it is a champion of a cause or a trusted military leader. All right, it can be used this way. The keynote speaker is regarded as a paladin of environmental justice, or we can say the prince summoned the paladin and commended him for his actions in battle. The thought of the day, pay attention to what your mind is dwelling on. Don't just think any thought that comes to mind. If it's a negative, discouraging, fearful thought, don't give it the time of day. So that's what's buzzing this morning, and that's what making the rounds this morning. And we'll come back after the news, weather, and sport, and we'll have the conversation. So get your minds ready. Remember, in the conversation, we want it to be as brief as possible, and we would refrain from making double calls, all right? You get your thoughts in place so that when you call, you get straight to it. See what you've got to say, make your contribution, and move on. Listen so that somebody else can participate. 20 minutes on to 7 o'clock. That is the time. 7 o'clock workers, you should be very close to the workplace now if you're not entering as yet. All right? So that's it for this segment. See you on the flip side of 7.
We all have wishes at Christmas. Maybe it's a car, repairs to your home, new appliances, or travel. Get yourself that perfect gift with a GUT Credit Union Christmas Make-A-Wish loan. You can get the money you need to make that holiday wish come true. Apply for a loan and you'll be entered to win one of 5 shopping sprees at Foodland Supermarket. Plus, great prizes from Sol EC Limited, Dean Mattresses, Digicel Grenada Limited, and Beacon Insurance. Call 440-1354. Email loans@gutcu.com or visit go.gutcu.com/Christmas. Apply now and make your wish the perfect gift this Christmas. Special conditions apply.
Thanks for joining us. Education cannot take place in the context of violence and warfare. The sentiment expressed by Catholic Bishop Father Clyde Martin Harvey. This follows a string of violent outbreaks in school compounds over the past week. The bishop says recent incidents, however, indicate that parents are becoming the agents of such violence. More in this Christina John report.
Anytime a parent is seen encouraging a child of violence towards teachers or other children, that parent will be asked to remove his or her child from the school until the matter is fully investigated by the Ministry of Education, the Catholic Board, and the police. We will not tolerate such behavior in our Catholic schools. It should not be tolerated in any school. Expressions from Catholic Bishop Clyde Harvey. During the past week, charges have been slapped on 4 adults for incidences that took place on 2 school compounds in St. George's, following police investigations into an incident that transpired at a St. George's school on Thursday, the 12th January 2023. Sheldon Clark, 39 years old, Jamal Clark, 36 years old, and Joshua Clark, 19 years old, all of Jean-Anglais St. George, were each charged with the offenses of disorderly behavior and trespass. Sheldon and Jamal were also charged with being in possession of offensive weapons. The men were each granted bail in the sum of $4,000 with one surety. They are scheduled to appear the St. George's Magistrate Court on March 9, 2023. In a separate incident, police charged Akeisha Roberts, 31 years old, Secretary of Mungay St. George, with the offense of causing harm following an incident of another school compound involving a female student. Ms. Roberts was placed on $4,000 bail with one surety. She will make her court appearance on February 24th. In a statement issued by the Bishop of St. George's in Grenada, Clyde Harvey, on violent events in our school says, and I quote, "All citizens must be concerned about the upsurge of violence in our schools. When that violence involves children, all of us have a responsibility to seek to correct it in any way we can, whether with our own children or the children of others. Education cannot take place in the context of violence or warfare." Recent incidents, however, indicate that parents are becoming the agent of such violence. Parents send their children to school to be educated and formed for life in society. The bishop added, parents must never be the instigators of such violence. At times, tensions are taken beyond the school compound into the streets. School staff now have to protect their schools from further violence after the school's initial incidents. We cannot allow this situation to get beyond the control of those who bear responsibility for education in our small state. Our education system must focus now on both children and parents. Successful certification can never be enough. A deep and effective spiritual base for the system is absolutely necessary. This is about more than saying prayers. May God give us the wisdom and the courage to save our children and our schools. Unquote. Tonight's Beyond the Headline program will take these issues into perspective as host Colin Dow discusses with guests bullying in schools. The program begins at 8 p.m. Christina John, GBN News.
Now, Dr. Groom's resident, Barry Gary Nicholas, is facing a new slew of charges for similar offenses relating to guns and ammunition. Responding to reports from Customs and Excise last Thursday, officers attached to the Customs Enforcement, Drug Squad, and the Criminal Investigation Department of the RGPF searched 4 pallets containing goods at the St. George's Port, which were imported by Barry Gary Nicholas. Police discovered a 1.45 Springfield Armory XD pistol, serial number US 698263, with 2 magazines and a total of 21.45 ammunition in one of the pallets. Barry and the gun and ammunition were transported to the CID, where he was charged for possession of firearms, possession of ammunition, importation of firearms, and importation of ammunition. He was granted bail in the sum of $10,000 with one surety. This is the second incident Nicholas, a resident of Dr. Groom, St. George, has been charged with in less than a month. 2 weeks ago, Nicholas, a retired U.S. soldier, was arrested and charged with possession and importation of firearms and ammunition. He was arrested following a search of a container at the St. George's Port on December 30, 2022. We can tell you, too, that search yielded the discovery of 4 firearms, 2 rifles, and 2 pistols, along with a total of 1,894 rounds of ammunition. He's due to appear at the St. George's Magistrates Court on Tuesday, February 21, 2023. 3 men have been apprehended by police and taken into custody following the frightening daylight incident that occurred in St. David on Saturday morning. Nisha Paul reports.
Corporal of Police 356 Sherwin Noel, attached to the Community Relations Department, has confirmed that a 16-year-old schoolboy was held at gunpoint in St. David on the weekend. Information reaching GBN is that the incident occurred just before 11 a.m. on Saturday Saturday while the secondary school student and his 15-year-old sister were on their way to the Grenada Athletics Association mini-meets at the Grenada National Stadium. The altercation ensued moments after the teenager cautioned one of the men who attempted to engage in an inappropriate conversation with his younger sister. The suspect, along with two other men who were occupants in a black van, were later apprehended during a police operation in Westerhall, St. David, where a 1.38 pistol and 2 rounds of ammunition was found. Ryan Cato, a 22-year-old laborer of Boca St. George, Ali Charles, 30-year-old mechanic of Latas St. Patrick, and Dorian Felix, 22-year-old cashier of Bellevue St. David, were jointly charged with possession of a firearm and ammunition for assaulting a 16-year-old male with a deadly weapon. The accused men will appear at the St. David's Magistrates Court on Tuesday. For GBN News, I am Nisha Paul.
Other news, workers at the Mungay Hospital and their union representatives are now relieved as the government resolved a pressing issue that led to protest action last December. Rena Pett Thomas tells us more.
A doctor who allegedly created a distressful and abusive working environment for workers at the Mungay Hospital was relieved of his duties at the facility after protest action. On the 19th of December, workers took protest action after months of alleged physical and verbal abuse received from the doctor at the mental facility. They expressed that they could no longer bear the situation, demanding that something be done soonest.
Enough is enough. 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 Enough is enough.
On Monday, President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says workers are now relieved. He said the union was informed by the government that the doctor in question will no longer be working at the mental hospital.
We also, as a union, wrote to the Ministry of Health. We understood that the Public Service Commission was also involved in the situation. And on the 12th of January, my office was informed by senior officials from the Ministry of Health, the permanent secretary to be specific, that the doctor will no longer be operating at the Mungay Psychiatric Hospital, and that is a good thing.
Grimes thanked government for addressing the issue, fearful that if the allegations were left unattended, the matter could have seriously escalated.
The situation was potentially explosive, could have ended up in something very unfortunate, potentially tragic, and the Grenada Public Workers Union wants to commend the Ministry of Health in particular. Also, we would like to commend the Public Service Commission in acting speedily on this matter. And of course, the union wants to commend the workers at the Mungay Psychiatric Hospital for taking that courageous and resolute stance in standing up for their rights.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Back here at Television Center reporting the day's news. Your input can help decide on the way forward for the Marketing and National Importing Board. We hear more in this Christina John report.
Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell and Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, Andy Williams, formed part of the delegation on the Sister Isle Carriacou over the weekend. This forms part of consultations to determine the future of the Marketing and National Importing Board. Already, meetings were held in St. Andrews, St. Mark, Petit Martinique, and Carriacou was the final stop. The Prime Minister explained what he deems the state of the MNIB since taking office. The PM says he hopes that following these consultations, they as a government will be guided in making informed decisions.
MNIB, as we found it, was not in a good place, and to some extent has gone to a worse place. The institution is financially bankrupt and unable to pay its obligations as they fall due. So I'll give a brief overview of what I mean by that. The government has been called upon to pay the staff of the Marketing and National Importing Board for the months of November and December. And we are halfway into January, and we're also going to have to pay the staff salary for January because MNIB is unable to pay the staff. And that's just a basic commitment if you're an institution.
PM Mitchell painted a bleak picture of the MNIB's financial status, with debts incurred by the organization amounting to over $15 million. He highlights the need for proper restructuring.
But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It is unable to pay the farmers and the persons who supply goods to it. And it currently owes about $2.8 million to farmers and other suppliers who supply goods and services to MNIB. And that includes its landlords who it's renting premises from, Grenlec, who it's using electricity from, and other persons. MNIB also actually owes the government about $7 million from prior loans that the government took over and paid, or is paying, from previous borrowings of the Marketing and National Importing Board.
The Prime Minister said there are a number of options being looked at, including government's intervention to ensure workers are paid.
Option one would have been to do nothing and to allow MNIB to close. And to that extent, we have already intervened, because by paying the staff salaries for November and December, we've kept it open, and we are still likely to pay the salaries for January, so we are keeping it open at least by paying the staff. Government could still engage in an orderly shutdown of MNIB by engaging with the banks to see how the government can take over the bank loan and pay the loan, by severing or terminating the staff and paying the staff their severance, and by negotiating with the farmers and others and paying them off and simply closing MNIB and not having it exist again. The other option is in fact to keep it as is, in terms of keeping it as a statutory body, trying to strengthen the management, because currently there is no manager, and pumping millions of dollars back into it again, which obviously would be used to help pay down the bank debt, continue paying the staff until it's in a position to do so, and continue paying farmers and others who are owed. So those are...
Christina John, GBN News.
Well, executive members of the Public Workers Union acknowledge some of the positive moves made by government in the year 2023 so far. The SCAM says they announced the refurbishment of the government printery and the payment of outstanding money to workers. Rena Pitt Thomas reports.
President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says that for the year 2023 so far, government has made some positive moves towards workers' needs. He pointed out that Minister for Education, David Andrew, has fulfilled government's promise in paying outstanding increments to workers at the
Ministry of Education and the Minister of Education, Honorable is David Andrew, should be commended in relation to all the payments, the retroactive payments. They have started to honor that in terms of keeping their promise. Right, we understand the checks have been cut, and it's just for them to just distribute periodically as stated. So the workers at TAMCC, they are very pleased with that. The fact that for years they were operating without increases, the retroactive and things of that nature have been paid, and the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance, they are doing their due diligence to ensure that it's paid. So commendations to that. The union is extremely pleased about that.
Grimes also announced a salary increase for workers at the Grand Immaculate Juvenile Center. The last increase noted was over 7 years ago.
Ministry of Social Development, also under the leadership of Honorable Philip Telesford and Senator Gloria Thomas, commendations also in regard to what we would say a fortunate event at the Grand Immaculate Juvenile Treatment Center. Within that time, we learned of several problems occurring there, one of which, a main problem, was the fact that their salaries have been stagnated for that lengthy period, and they had to be battling inflation with very, very small salaries. So we are pleased to announce that they have gotten retroactive payments similar to what the public service has gotten from the period 2017 to present, right? And their salaries have also been increased. The workers there are elated. They are very, very happy.
The PWU president said that after numerous protest action, workers of the government penitentiary are also happy that their work environment is now safer and healthier with the refurbishing of their leaking roof.
Several protests would have taken place based on occupational safety and health issues at the government penitentiary over the last several months. And several protests, right? Past administration, current administration. But we are seeing in this new dispensation, what is happening here is that the problems have been solved in terms of occupational safety and health. The roof is fixed. There are no longer leaks. There is an air extractor to take out the chemical scent. The air conditioning is working perfectly. And we are seeing that the government of Grenada is taking care to do things in addition to that, in terms of filling holes, in terms of painting and general beautification of the place. So they are still currently working, and the workers, they are extremely appreciative of this.
The union leader hopes that transformational decisions like these will continue for the rest of 2023 and beyond. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
With the urgent work that needs to be done on the Montmoritz Road, Infrastructure Minister Dennis Cornwall says the road will be closed for 2 weeks. Rena Thomas has another report.
Motorists traversing the western side of the island will soon see the closure of the Montmoritz Road. This will be done to facilitate the Ministry of Infrastructure reconstruction work on a part of the road that is sinking. Minister for Infrastructure Dennis Cornwall says once the work is ready to start, the road will be closed for 2 weeks.
This time around, I think that we should probably do a permanent fix to the road. But to do so, we need to close this road for at least a 2-week period to ensure we can actually rehabilitate the slippage on spot here. We have to fix the drainage here, as well as we have to ensure that after we have done it, taking the 2 weeks period, we'll be able to have a smooth flowing road without difficulty. This road is gone as it is right now, and we need to basically put in place a fix that allows the traffic to continue here on the Jones Road until we're able to fix the Molina landslip project area. Now, I am hoping that we can basically start this and finish it in the next 2 weeks. But again, I want to basically give the media time to inform the general public what we are going to be doing.
Minister Cornwall expressed concern with what he sees as a disregard for authority.
Be mindful that the truck drivers that are using the road to still ply the trade is doing something that's illegal. At the entrance of the road, there is a sign by the police that says no trucks allowed. And if we continue to allow those trucks to come in and damage the road and so on, then we'll be basically spinning up in mud. But there will be challenges. There will be pain. People have to use alternative route because this one would not be available once we start fixing it.
The minister is appealing to motorists to adhere to the rules put in place by authorities so that the use of the alternative route can be long-lived.
I've also want to basically make a call to the motoring public that this is a one-way route, and we have seen people coming the other direction, not only here but on the other part. There's also a one-way route. I was coming to the other night and 2 or 3 vehicles coming down the other route. They could have bounced anybody coming because nobody expects somebody coming down the other route and so on. I'm begging, I'm pleading to the Grenadian motorists, be careful what you do, because you could basically kill people on the road by doing what you're doing. You cannot be coming on the road and it's a one-way route and vehicles coming the other direction and so on, without notice, without information and so on. That doesn't make sense to me. We have to adhere to what is in place to allow the smooth flow of traffic. If not, we all will have to basically bear the painful trek around to Willis and those places until we can find an alternative for this road.
For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
The action taken by an adult against a student isn't sitting well with many Grenadians, and that's what's creating a buzz on social media.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our social buzz.
An altercation involving a student and an adult has resulted in the charge against the female adult.
Akeisha Roberts was arrested and charged with the offense of causing harm to a minor following a recent incident on a school compound involving a student. The 31-year-old secretary at Montgay St. George was placed on bail in the sum of $4,000 with one surety after a video circulating on social media showed the female slapping a secondary school student clad in her school uniform.
Social media users took to the comments section to share their thoughts about this development. The following views are those of members of the public and not of the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Khadija said, I would agree that the parent was wrong with hitting the child. My question is, what does the bully get though? Kids who bully other people's children, there are no consequences for them. Carolyn said, don't put your hands on other people's children unless you are ready to face the consequences. Cheryl added, 2 wrongs never make a right. We are free to do what we like, but remember, we are not free from the consequence. And Sharon said, give her a hefty fine so others will see and learn from that incident. She was wrong, very wrong. That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on social media platforms.
What did you mean earlier about climate change, Mom?
Well, when I was your age, I remember beautiful coral reefs and healthy beaches. The summers weren't as hot as they are right now, and the rainy season meant that it only rained when it was supposed to.
And then what happened?
The weather just started to change, and storms got worse. Coral reefs started to die because the ocean was getting too warm, and crops started to die because there was not much rain. You know, we realized as adults that we were doing something that was causing this.
What were you all doing?
Same thing we're doing now, not using clean, renewable energy, chopping down too many trees, and even polluting the air with gases, such as the gases emitted from our cars when we drive around.
We need some help before it's too late, Mom.
We can't let it get worse.
What can I do?
We can raise our voices.
With 35 million dreams, aspirations, and futures at risk in Carry Forum, we need your voice in our story against climate change. Acknowledge, commit, act. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center under the Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance Plus program and is funded by the European Union.
Well, drank and indulged, laughed, and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver, and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandans, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center, immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suite. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
All concerned are hereby advised that the main branch of the GUT Cooperative Credit Union Limited, located on the corner of Grenville and St. John Street, St. George's, will be closed on Thursday 19th and Friday 20th January 2023. This closure has become necessary to facilitate the relocation of the branch to our new office on the corner of Halifax and Cross Streets, which will be operational from January 23rd, 2023. Management apologizes for any inconvenience caused and reminds all members that our branches at Victoria, Grenville, Grandans, and Carriacou are available to serve you. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegro pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Good morning. It's 9 minutes after 7 o'clock. Welcome to the conversation for this morning. Yeah, this is where we look at what's buzzing and we try to get your participation, where you can make what we usually call your 2 pence heard. You know what I'm saying? Nice. So how are we doing this morning? Let's see what's happening on our Facebook page early. You know, I like to give them, touch base with my peeps out there. All right. Wow. And the comments are already here. Mary Ebang says, good morning. Sonia Mathlin Scott says, blessed and pleasant day. Good morning, everyone. Yulin Alexander, good morning, Grenada. Blessings to all. Have a blessed and safe, productive day, everyone. Same to you, Yulin. Donna Williams says, so sad. I don't know what she's responding to there, but all right, let's see what's happening on WhatsApp. All right. Okay, this guy, good morning. All right, good morning, Innocent. Cheers to another day of life. It's Junior Panorama Preliminaries in TNT. All the students of the various schools and community steel orchestras are being judged this week. Pan is beautiful, I agree, and I'm working on a pan segment, all right, trying to see how we could work it out. Also reminding vehicle owners with registration numbers 1 to 2500 and plural numbers 1 to 250, please get your inspection done and renew your vehicle license by the 15th of February 2023. Inspection of vehicles will be at the National Stadium car park. Please pay online using pay.gov.gd and avoid the long lines. Pay early and save money. Thank you, Papi. All right, thank you oh so much. Now, I hinted to you earlier that what we're really going to be looking at this morning, 2 stories that to me are very, very pertinent. That issue that that made the rounds on social media just a week or 2 ago. It's I think that was the point, the breaking point. All right, this is where actions have to be taken, and steps are being taken in the direction to eradicate that. All right. Education cannot take place in the context of violence or warfare. Those were the sentiments of Catholic Bishop Father Clyde Harvey, and there are some recommendations that he made. Let's take that clip from the television, and then we'll have your conversation on it.
Anytime a parent is seen encouraging a child to violence towards teachers or other children, that parent will be asked to remove his or her child from the school until the matter is fully investigated by the Ministry of Education, the Catholic Board, and the police. We will not tolerate such behavior in our Catholic schools. It should not be tolerated in any school. Expressions from Catholic Bishop Clyde Harvey. During the past week, charges have been slapped on 4 adults for incidences that took place on 2 school compounds in St. George's, following police investigations into an incident that transpired at a St. George's school on Thursday, the 12th January 2023. Sheldon Clark, 39 years old, Jamal Clark, 36 years old, and Joshua Clark, 19 years old, all of Jean-Anglais St. George, were each charged with the offenses of disorderly behavior and trespass. Sheldon and Jamal were also charged with being in possession of offensive weapons. The men were each granted bail in the sum of $4,000 with one surety. They are scheduled to appear at the St. George's Magistrate Court on March 9, 2023. In a separate incident, police charged Akeisha Roberts, 31 years old, Secretary of Mungay St. George, with the offense of causing harm following an incident of another school compound involving a female student. Ms. Roberts was placed on $4,000 bail with one surety. She will make her court appearance on February 24th. In a statement issued by the Bishop of St. George's in Grenada, Clyde Harvey, on violent events in our school says, and I quote, "All citizens must be concerned about the upsurge of violence in our schools. When that violence involves children, all of us have a responsibility to seek to correct it in any way we can, whether with our own children or the children of others. Education cannot take place in the context of violence or warfare." Recent incidents, however, indicate that parents are becoming the agent of such violence. Parents send their children to school to be educated and formed for life in society. The bishop added, parents must never be the instigators of such violence. At times, tensions are taken beyond the school compound into the streets. School staff now have to protect their schools from further violence after the school's initial incidents. We cannot allow this situation to get beyond the control of those who bear responsibility for education in our small state. Our education system must focus now on both children and parents. Successful certification can never be enough. A deep and effective spiritual base for the system is absolutely necessary. This is about more than saying prayers. May God give us the wisdom and the courage to save our children and our schools. Unquote. Tonight's Beyond the Headline program will take these issues into perspective as host Colin Dow discusses with guests bullying in schools. The program begins at 8 p.m. Christina John, GBN News.
But nice. So that's what's happening. All right, so where do we go from here? That's the question being asked. Where do we go from here? That's what's happening. All right, so where do we go from here? That's the question being asked. Where do we go
Working environment for workers at the Mungay Hospital was relieved of his duties at the facility after
be a part of the conversation this morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Innocent, and morning to you, viewers and listeners. Earlier this morning, I heard you said something in relation to the clip you were doing with Joel Osteen, that you don't care about the messenger, you care about the message. And I think if you really take that to seriously and practice it, a lot of things could be avoided, because there are some people who are not respected, who are not listened to, because the judgment we have on them. For years, I've been trying to promote peaceful coexistence in Grenada. And many times, I'm not listened to. even on Monday night, last month, the first Beyond the Headline, the Prime Minister addressed the issue of violence and crime in relation to a question I asked him. And it was interested that the network did not even play that, did not even use that as a clip for news. The same thing repeating Kalku. So it's interesting that who is the messenger normally is looked at in terms of whether something gets used. But nonetheless, Friends of the Earth have scheduled an activity in which we seek to address the issue of crime and violence in the Caribbean society, because it's a serious issue, crime and violence. And on the 29th of January this year, we will be having a theme of high-level moral voices to deal with the issue of crime and violence in our society. So I hope we have asked GBN and the other network to help carry it so that we can address the thing. Because it's serious. We are a violent society. Not just the children. Please, we are violent people. In the way we speak, how we react. I mean, even when you go for service in places, in business, I mean, you are treated like if you are nobody. Let us think, the other day I was walking through the street. A man shouting at me, "Get radio station a chance." Hello. I mean, harassing me. Mr. Rolo normally talk about how he's treated in St. George's. I mean, we need to really be sane, sensible, thriving people.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, that is the time. And yeah. Now, the question that I'm asking is, in Bishop Clyde Harvey's pronouncement, he said that where the Catholic schools are concerned, once a parent gets involved in that sort of bullying behavior on the school, their child will be suspended, maybe expelled, until the matter is resolved. Now, the question being asked is, should the children really pay for the misbehavior of the parents? I would like to hear that. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Innocent.
Hi, welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good this morning.
That's nice.
I am glad to hear the statement made by the bishop. I think it probably, even so early in the year, would qualify, if you had, for the greatest statement of the year. And last year I had intended to suggest that to the station, a statement of the year from somebody. But, and that, what the bishop has said is showing the importance of the family. Sometimes we ignore how important the family is. And what the bishop has said there is the opposite to what a religious organization that I've been associated with had years ago, which is when the child behaved disorderly, the parent was sanctioned. So it's flipped now. The parent behaves disorderly, and the child faces the consequences, because there are choices and consequences. I heard 3 names called, which suggests that the 3 people are related. So this is the thing. Do they understand that what the choices they make would have consequences for the children? So if they're able to teach now, to pick up the slack and teach the children during the period they're suspended. This is, I think we should, like Bishop King said, we should start paying attention to the things that we have. A good day.
You too. Thanks, man. Yeah, point well taken. I like this. Okay, Marilyn Gordon says the people or persons who are breaking the law should be punished in the full and be given swift justice. Things are done in a manner that they cannot, they commit those offenses and get away with it. It's about time Grenada steps up with the laws in full force. Alistair Warwood Senior says, blessed Tuesday morning, spicy Tri-Islanders near and far. We are a resilient people. We overcame Ivan, COVID-19, and the sins of the green beast. Keep the faith. All right, Julian Alexander, Innocent, I really love and appreciate you for always looking out for us on Facebook. You make sure you check our comments, and I really appreciate that. Well, I got to do that. I've got to do that. All right, 435-2041, that's the number to call. Let's see what's happening on WhatsApp. All right, this one says, good morning, sir. Children are damaging school property and they are not made to take responsibility, so they continue to do same. Once an example is being set, they must be deterred. A blessed day to all. Okay. 435-2041. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Innocent.
Hi, morning. How are you?
I'm blessed, baby. I'm blessed.
Nice.
I called to trade me 2 pence.
Please do.
I want to agree with the bishop because mother and children is a package, and you can remove piece in the package and leave piece. You have to remove the whole package.
So you are, in essence, you agree with the fact that if a child's parent comes to the school and misbehaves, until that matter is resolved, the child should be suspended or in some case expelled?
Yes, and not only just remove them, give them counseling, because I think like that they both need counseling.
Okay.
So I agree to remove them. We got to do something. We have to take steps early and do it, because we none of us don't know what is in the minds of people,
All right.
So we got to try. Although he kind of late, but he better late than never.
Yes.
So we have to do something. You can't let your children go into school and you worried as a parent. It can't happen. That shouldn't happen, because they home, you don't know what's going on. You know what could have happened there?
Oh yeah. It could
so
have.
Let us try. Let us try by God's grace and everybody. And you have some teachers to those create conflict too, because like they take inside. Sometimes your child come and complain so much time to you, and them because it's their friend, they don't take no heed. Because I remember a little boy used to always come and say, Mom, them people that working for big money, when the children do something, the teacher and them forgiving them, but when I do something, I ain't getting no forgiveness, so them children seeing it, man.
So what are you trying to say, mother is not a big shot?
No,
well,
in uniform.
He understand what big shot mean.
Well, them children and them, they're looking at things.
All right. Have a nice day. All right, bye-bye. All right, looking at our WhatsApp page. Good morning, Innocent. I must say the NDC is showing real transformation. NNP had people playing by the roadside, no one checking the quality of work. I notice nowadays all bacchanal on the work stop. These people are working diligently in unity and have someone every day checking up on them and the quality of work. I noticed the past few days by the court in River Road, the live showed to them by the supervisor and the respect they gave each other. Gone are the old days when they spend 1 month in one spot with a built dressed like he going to church, harassing them. People perform when they are relaxed. Kudos, people, but we must assist by not dumping our bottles, cups, and plastics in public. I agree, Madam. Sir, I agree. Good morning to you all. All right, let's see what parents must know that their actions can and will affect their children. It can be what school they get to attend in this situation. Yeah, parents, you've got to be parents, and that's just my take on this. 435-2041, that's the number to call and be a part of the conversation this morning. Let's go to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
it hurts me to see.
You have something too loud.
Yeah, let me come. Yeah, as I was saying, it hurts me to see that someone of such caliber have made a statement and isolating a particular part of people, let's say for religious people, and saying that discrimination and saying something like these people in that particular aspect should be punished, and you don't like to see that and that and that. I think this is discrimination. If you're speak generally for the whole population, especially when you're in high position, as I think you are in. So you have to be very careful. On the other hand, while violence seems to be the order of the day, that's how you have been glorified to some extent. When I say you people, some of the people feel that's why they have been glorified in Grenada. When I was in my youthful age, I don't like fighting because you see, the idea is when you fight, you seem to let down your esteem if you have great esteem. But it seems to me, we in Grenada, our esteem is fighting. When we do something wrong, we are being glorified. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Have yourself a wonderful day now. 28 minutes after 7 o'clock. Facebook, Unit Cyrus Home says, Hannah Penny, well, I don't know. Marilyn Gordon, parents should set example to their kids, and if they can't teach them, both parents and child or children should stand the consequences. All right, Mary Ebank says the parents have to take responsibility of their actions, and that includes if their children act disorderly, which affect others, especially in schools. Vicky Thomas says, good morning, Mr. Joseph. Good morning to you, Vicky. How are you? I agree with the bishop. Lost. Okay, let me see. Okay, I seem to have lost Vicky's. Oh my goodness. Okay, 435-2041. That's the number to call to be on the action. Yeah, give us a call, 435-2041. And let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Gordon.
How are you?
I am great.
I could hear it in your voice.
Bullying is bullying, and it's wrong. I somehow agree with the bishop, but the question is, which child gets suspended or be removed temporarily? Because you have the victim and you have the one where the parent going out to fight for. And in that case, I don't think it is wise to have, the victim being suspended because, already the damage is done. Yes, it is wrong what's happened, and we've seen it. But, Mr. Innocent, don't you know that there are people sending around voice notes for students in a similar manner, bullying that is even worse. The content of the video is even worse than getting a slap in the face. I mean, it's terrible. And I mean, you have cases where professionals or people who ought to be professionals are doing it. And this ought to stop. Because you know what? When they do things like that to some children, they frighten them. And they wouldn't even let their parents hear the video. They probably would, share it with a friend. And I have known of cases where this has happened on more than one occasion. And because of the person's job that is sending the video, it's make it worse. That child is even more hesitant. We are not to be bullying children because we believe, they come in last in the class or a little bit slow. When you work with children, you could only improve their grades. And a lot of the times you don't know what is going on in their homes, why they are underperforming. You know, the children need help, they need love, and parents are to bond a little more with their children. Talk to them. Sometimes when you say your child's best friend, some people get offended. Best friend, don't necessarily mean going out to parties and, doing what. Yes, you could party with them, but you have to talk to them. You must be on top of their game. They shouldn't be going to the teacher before they go to you.
Yeah.
Because of that relation, and people, sometimes have problem with it. But I want to be my children's best friend because, we want to bond. We want to talk and talk about the things that are important to them. You work with them to get them up there. They just might blossom later on in life. Everybody don't blossom early. But, you got to be their friend. You got to be there for them, and stop bullying each other.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You too. Have a good one. All right, folks, 27 minutes on to 8 o'clock. We take a commercial break, and we'll come back with the conversation right after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Solar lights are back in stock and will be available for purchase at Southern Electrical. Here is a list of the solar lights that we offer. 200 to 300 watt intelligent floodlights with camera, 300 to 500 watt solar street lights, 60, 100, 200 and 500 RGB solar floodlights, 100, 200, 300, 500 and 800 solar floodlights, solar garden lights, 25, 40, 60, 100 and 200 watt solar floodlights, 3, 7 and 10 watt solar wall lights, motion center garden lights, motion sensor floodlights, 30, 60 and 90 watt solar street lights with accessories, 5 watt solar wall lamps, 40 and 60 solar street lights, and 100 and 300 solar floodlights with battery power display. Now available at Southern Electrical, Dusty Highway, St. George. Visit our showroom today.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Good morning and welcome back to the conversation. All right, the other story that we want to look at is workers at the Mount Gay Hospital and the union representatives are now relieved as the government resolved a pressing issue that led to a protest action last December. We are going to take that clip from our television and then we'll hear your comments on it. The number that you got to call, that is 435-2041, all right? So we're going to take that clip from the television and we are going to get your comments on it.
A doctor who allegedly created a distressful and abusive working environment for workers at the Mount Hospital was relieved of his duties at the facility after protest action. On the 19th of December, workers took protest action after months of alleged physical and verbal abuse received from the doctor at the mental facility. They expressed that they could no longer bear the situation, demanding that something be done soonest.
Enough is enough. 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 Enough is enough.
On Monday, President of the Public Workers Union, Brian Grimes, says workers are now relieved. He said the union was informed by the government that the doctor in question will no longer be working at the mental hospital.
We also, as a union, wrote to the Ministry of Health we understood that the Public Service Commission was also involved in the situation. And on the 12th of January, my office was informed by senior officials from the Ministry of Health, the permanent secretary to be specific, that the doctor will no longer be operating at the Monge Psychiatric Hospital, and that is a good thing.
Grimes thanked government for addressing the issue, fearful that if the allegations were left unattended, the matter could have seriously escalated.
The situation was potentially explosive, could have ended up in something very unfortunate, potentially tragic, and the Grenada Public Workers Union wants to commend the Ministry of Health in particular. Also, we would like to commend the Public Service Commission in acting speedily on this matter. And of course, the union wants to commend the workers at the Monge Psychiatric Hospital for taking that courageous and resolute stance in standing up for their rights.
For GBN News, I am Rena Pet Thomas reporting.
The gist of it. So let's hear your comments. The question that I'm asking is, why did this have to reach to this point? As you heard my good friend Mr. Grimes. Morning, Mr. Grimes, how are you doing? You know, why did it reach to that point? Why wasn't something done before? It could have ended in fatality and all, you know, I mean, come on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. So,
how are you, my good friend?
How are you doing?
I am alive and thankful.
Right, keep it going that way. Have a great day.
You too.
Now, sometimes people doesn't like to hear it, but I'm going to say it. You know, when the damage is done, it is very hard to repair. Take a look at what is happening in North America, now Brazil, the Caribbean. Contrast it with here in that way. The damage is done with damage to society, and now we're trying to fix it. But you know something? The colors. We rile up our supporters. We bring unrest in the communities. The communities cannot settle down, and that's where those things is coming from. Parent can't see eye to eye with parent because of the scenario. How to fix this? It's for those who caused it. It's a hard task, but they have to try to fix it. Fix what they create, which is putting the society against each other politically. I don't sweep it under the carpet. That's the reality. We spoil the society. It's difficult to fix, but they have to fix it. Have a great day, sir.
You too. Thanks. Have a good one yourself. All right, let me take a look at what's happening on the WhatsApp platform. All right, this person says, Mr. Innocent, at no given time a parent should confront a minor. There are steps to deal with every situation. Steeper penalties should be administered. Okay, I agree with this. All right, let's see. Let's spend a little time on the WhatsApp. This person says, I agree with the bishop, but I want to also urge that the relevant authorities, whether church management or the Ministry of Education, look into the management of the schools and whether principals are handling the situations in the schools properly. Some parents and students could be very frustrated after repeated unresolved bullying and other violent acts to their children, and feel wrongly that they have to take things into their own hands as a means of getting satisfaction. That too is true. All right, in a sense, some workers still playing the fool. They need to remove the one from Marian and have a good gang foreman. The red-skinned lady was very professional. The new one is a waste of time. Love to the ones going out and beyond to do a good job. All you behave. The air is to... Oh, my goodness. All right, let's take a quick peek at our Facebook people. Heaven Hill says, hopefully Grenadians will learn not to try to be a vigilante. Vigilante parents assaulting children that are not theirs. Hopefully someone or a group can become a paladin for bullying to bring awareness of the various forms of bullying and how to combat it. All right. Okay. What else is happening on the Facebook page? Good morning, Grenada. Blessings to all. All right. We got this one already. Okay, that's Robbie Benjamin. We got the best PM and is that. I could imagine how you're emphasizing and is that. 435-2041. We're concentrating now primarily on the situation that, got resolved at the Mongay General Hospital. Good morning to my good friend Andrew Buba, Night Nurse Williams. Good morning, caller.
Morning, sir.
Hi, welcome to the program. How are you?
Sorry, your manager said to cut me off, but sorry, don't cut me off. I'm going on the next program with the thing with the bishop. Well, I think the bishop right. Look, in the early days, like they still cover this, calling children kids. Right. In the early days, the older people have a principle. If you want to get control of certain things, you hold the mother, the kid will come. And if you want to get some control of this mother, you have to hold the kid. The mother will come. So what he's saying is right. And there's a lot of things that we should be doing that following the old principle. Things like, look, children marking up in the school, they're supposed to clean it off. Bits of paper lying on the floor, all these things. You're training children. The things that simple things that people used to do to train children, they're taking that away now and putting in something else that they see and from foreign, and that is very crippling to the children. Things that people know. One of the things I will say again, going back in the World Manual, you know the song Bob Marley sing One Love?
Yeah, One Love, One Heart.
Yes.
Let's get together and feel all right.
Play that song that day in the World Manual, and that is what he said will bring everything to doing. One love, one heart, unity, love, togetherness, compassion, all these things. This is what have to bring the thing back, and we have to do it. So, see, your program, even on the radio, certain songs they're playing, programs that starting, they're supposed to start with certain songs, so they're going out to the nation. This thing you can't bomb in the middle alone. You have to bomb the middle, the end, the center, wherever it is. You have to
total eradication.
We are putting things in place. On the TV, they're supposed to have programs, children going to school, showing you how they're holding each other hand, crossing the road. When they reach the school, say morning, showing. Put that on the TV. But this thing is going for, let me tell you something. It has a country, right? I have a relative that came here with some children. You know what is going on? She have two children, but it's not really, it's faster. These children leaving to go to school 8 o'clock this morning, and they coming back 2 o'clock in the morning the next day. And they can't tell them anything. They can't do nothing. They're smoking weed. They're drinking rum.
Okay.
And you cannot tell them nothing. So we is going to that direction. That is the way we're going. And everything starts small. Look at the shooting and thing that's starting around the Christmas time. We letting that lie low. You remember a couple years ago they had gangs in school? A leadership said, no, they just guided children. When you put your foot on it, boldly. That is what has to happen. Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you very much for your contribution. A quick peek on the Facebook page. May says, if the doctor has a bad attitude at the Mongay Hospital, he has it everywhere else. They should get rid of him as a doctor. Take his license away. That one is, I'm leaving you on your own with this one. I am voicing my concern, my opinion on that one. Mary E. Bang says, no one should be working in an unaccepted and abusive working environment. Thanks to government that action was taken to end this situation. Heaven Hill says, this issue with the doctor is another example of bullying, but in the workplace. All right, let me see. Right. In the workplace and among adults, insults, intimidation, denigrating, and I need to get my glasses, boy. Denigrating and superiority complex over employees is another form of bullying. Someone or some group really needs to become a paladin for bullying, to bring attention to this, to the various forms of bullying, how to recognize it, and how to combat it early. Love Child Kim says, it's not a nice feeling working in an uncomfortable situation. Thanks to the government for doing the right thing. Now my question is, okay, you removed him from the Mungay General Hospital. I would like to know, where was that person placed? Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Yeah, in a sense, you know, this problem we have, first of all, for the schools. This problem has started probably over 20 years ago, where they changed the rules and laws in schools in terms of parents, teachers, students. With teachers' hands were tied in disciplining children. And one of the reasons is, I believe, and I hope I'm not wrong, is when we introduce the way of life in the outer world, in terms of where you have to have this control over children in schools, where you can't hit them. Listen, we have a system in Grenada where, I remember years ago when I was a young kid growing up, they used to have kids coming down, delinquent kids in the outer world, probably America or wherever, coming down and looking at how the children in the Caribbean live their life. In the outer world, people live their life different. They are vast. I could understand the reason why the guy live out there as well. I could understand why they don't want teachers to hit the kids in school. Down here, everybody know each other. We're close. And I believe at the end of the day, we giving up. We giving up. We didn't give it up totally yet. We giving up our way of life in terms of accepting outside the way of life, the world, the rules and regulations. Yes, there are certain things outside it that we can adapt. But then when it comes to the children, growing up children in this part of the hemisphere, we need to set our boundaries in terms of, we as a people, we know each other. If I see your child doing something wrong, I should have the privilege and the power to tell that child, stop it, or even just stop the kids. I remember as a young kid growing up in my village, if I say something wrong, adult to see, they chastise me, and I did not go home and tell my parents, we don't get the next one. So I believe we need to step back a little bit and look back at our way of life and see what can be done. A guy calling and say we are people who are vicious or whatever. I don't think so. I think we are very well.
So let me ask you a question. Where do you think we went wrong? Because as you rightfully said, in a different dispensation, when children from another part of the world were giving problems, they were sent to Grenada to see how children has behaved. So where did we went wrong? Where did we go wrong?
We went wrong by adopting their principles and way of life.
Okay.
We went drastically wrong by that. Because I live where I live in abroad. My neighbors, some of them don't even say hello to you. In the Caribbean, everybody say hello to each other. Even though you may have a little conflict with each other, somewhere along, you always get around it. So I believe our problem is, let's try and bring back our way of life.
Okay.
They say they take a village to grow up a child, but you're taking the power away from the village.
And the teachers.
This is why this lady do what she did.
And the teachers as well.
And the teachers, well, mostly the teachers, because the children spend more time in school with the teacher than any one time with the parent.
Okay.
So you have to give the teacher. If a teacher is abusing a child or have abused a child, you deal with the teacher.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Understand? The authorities deal with the teacher. But I believe we are not that bad, and I believe we could get it right, but we have to look at our way of life and forget the rules and laws and regulations governing children in school abroad.
Okay. Thank you, caller. Have a good one. Angela Mitchell says, good morning, Mr. Gordon Joseph. Happy New Year to you. Nice to see you enjoying your program. Thanks for enjoying the program. All right, there was another comment here on Facebook that, all right, Rose Forrester Brizan says, I would like to know, or the public would like to know, the name of the doctor, because when things like that happens, people tend to take out, as we say, rage on the innocent ones defiantly. If he is placed in another institution defiantly, I would never want him, or should that be definitely or defiantly? All right, whatever. I never want him to attend to me. And innocent, I think you know why I'm saying this. Have a blessed day. Well, of course. I mean, that's common sense. Okay, it's 7 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Remember, at 8, we join the BBC. All right, let's take a final commercial break in the segment, and we'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere. Stick and stay with us.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. The world as we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see, and the climate's changing.
But hope is remaining.
And we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care of the world where we live. Permite a todos vivir. Tomamos la oportunidad para cortar la humanidad. And I must leave no one behind because we are.
We're in the wrapping up phase. It's 4 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning, caller.
Yes, Innocent, I'm back again, and there is another program, not to say I call back for the same one. Innocent, you know a man could be in jail and could get somebody to do your work for him outside here?
Well, that's a normal thing.
Innocent, you know I find it unfair when somebody work hard and go and study and be professional and you just want to take back the lesson and do like this part. You know, that same doctor could be writing prescription, even though they take him out, he could be writing prescription for me and you to get medication. Sometimes the doctor could give him a little blind in the back, but he writing you prescription for you to get medication. That's food for thought. Bye-bye.
Okay, all right. Okay. Food for thought. I ain't hungry yet. I had my second cup of coffee for the morning, so I'm good. 3 minutes away from 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rather. Good morning, caller.
Yes, in a sense, I really glad I'm getting to the cabin right. In a sense, the human being is what causing all the problem in the world, right? The human being. The human is 2/3 spiritual and 1/3 physical. But in the world, the emphasis played on the physical. Everything is the man, the human, what we could see. But there is so much taking place what we cannot see, and that we are ignoring. The spiritual aspect of the human needs to be fixed, and God made provision to fix it by sending his son, the Lord Jesus Christ, on earth to fix the wrong in the human person, the soul and the spirit. A lot of the things that we are wrestling with is from a spiritual aspect. And as long as the spiritual is ignored, we're going to always have the problem, regardless of what it is, how it is, and where it is. We are going to have the problem. We need a spiritual transformation. And that's what we need to do in Grenada and maybe in the rest of the world. A spiritual transformation. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. We need to be transformed in the spiritual aspect, not just the physical. Because no matter what we do, people are not going to change. It's only the spiritual area of man that needs to be changed. Have a blessed day. God bless you.
You too. God bless you too. All right, in the wrap up now, quickly, Heaven Hill says, great question, Innocent. Where was the doctor sent? The doctor needs counseling about workplace ethics and education about our culture to see if he is a good match. Before sending him elsewhere, recall he is a foreigner who, according to the workers, said that he said women should be belittled. Yeah, that doesn't happen down here, Papi. Alright? That doesn't happen down here. Love child, yes, caller, I believe the elders in the village should be able to correct your children. I have no problem with someone correcting my son once you're not abusing him. All right, folks, we have to leave it here quickly. Let me see I don't want my WhatsApp people to get left out. Okay, good morning. When children getting on like that, they need to put them out of school because they're not getting on like children. They're getting on like big people. Okay, all right. When your child, bullying will never stop until the school deal effectively with those who bully. Some schools are afraid to deal with those responsible, thus giving some parents no choice but to react in this manner. The person responsible should be sent home by the ministry as soon as it is reported. When your child is being bullied and the school is not acting on it, it leaves the parent no option. Of course, there is always another option. All right, I agree with... No, not this. I think I read this one already. The doctor's contract with the government of Grenada is ended. He will not be placed in any government institution. And is that... I like that phrase. And is that... That's some trending, boy. All right, good morning. Unity is strength. Thumbs up to the workers. They stick together and they get what they want. That doctor should be sent home. From a reliable source here on WhatsApp, it looks as though that is what happened. Folks, we're out of time. I've got to break it off here. We've got to join the BBC, which is already in progress. Those of you who called and participated, thank you very much for your participation. And if the good Lord spare your lives, we'll have another one tomorrow. I want to do this one. Please permit me. Happy birthday to a veteran, a stalwart, a national of substance. Today is Mr. Victor Ashby's birthday. Boss, happy birthday to you. Good morning. We were having a conversation about you just yesterday afternoon. All right. Happy birthday to you. I know you are going to enjoy it to the fullest. Folks, I've got to go. Bye-bye. Love you. Mwah. Miss you.